Good morning and welcome back to another episode. This week I have some exciting herbal and food preservation things. Well, I think it's exciting. Blueberries are starting to be on sale, so we grabbed some blueberries from the grocery store this morning, and I'm going to make a blueberry and lemon thyme jam because my lemon thyme, which I will show you, is absolutely exploding, and I'm trying to use it in many things as I can as possible. And that includes trying out some new herbal items that I'm learning in the herbal course I'm currently taking, including lip balm. I'm gonna try lemon thyme lip balm. I think that sounds really appetizing with lemon balm and olive oil and beeswax. It should be a very simple recipe. And here is my perennial herb garden. I have lemon thyme here, and they're growing fantastically. My lemon balm is right here, and I have been continually harvesting that so that way I can dry that and use that throughout the winter, as well as using it fresh. I have coneflower or echinacea right here. That's a brand new plant this year, so I'm just kind of seeing how that does. And then these little lavender patches. 3 of the plants are new. The back plant here came back from last year, and I know lavender is notoriously finicky and it doesn't always come back. So the fact that it did come back was pretty exciting. I'm not harvesting a whole lot of the flowers just because I want the plants to become big and strong. But I think I'm probably gonna cut some of those back today as well. Look at how beautiful this is. The lemon thyme, and it's blooming. Sorry, I'm sitting on the ground. So beautiful. Just little tiny flowers. I have some spearmint and lemon balm currently drying that I'm going to jar up that I cut back last week. So I'm now gonna cut back some of the sweet mint that I have, and I just kind of wanted to just show you how you can cut your plants. It actually helps them grow fuller when you continually trim them back. You don't want your plants going to flower, because once they go to flower, once they go to seed, they no longer have to produce. So I found, especially last year, I had one mint plant, and I had that one mint plant all year, and I kept it pruned back. I continued to cut it, and it grew really well, and I got a lot of production. So that's why I still only have one plant of each type of mint. When you trim mint, or really I use the same theory for basil, you want to trim it at the base where there's another little set of leaves, because that's going to allow the plant to shoot out. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So this is the one that I just cut. You just want to cut it back. You see these 2 little leaves right here. That's what I'm talking about when I say you want to cut it back to the base with little leaves growing. I use the same thing when I cut my basil. So like for this one, I could cut all the way down to here. I'm probably gonna cut here though. And I'm just gonna go through the entire plant and trim it back, and I'm gonna dry those mint leaves. really, it's mostly just cutting off the tip of the plant. So I'm just taking a look. And there we have it. The plant's all trimmed back. I left this little stalk here because I do like to grab this for some tea in the evenings occasionally, and I want to make sure that I have enough leaves that I can still have fresh tea. We're gonna take a little peek in the greenhouse at some seeds that I've started. Cucumbers haven't popped in yet. My kale is getting its first official leaves starting to come in. My basil has its first official leaves coming in. The chamomile is still trying to do something. It's so tiny, but I'm starting to get those secondary leaves. Stevia is still here. I don't really know how to grow this. I just picked it up at the farmer's market, and I tried it, and you can eat one of the leaves, and it is sweet. It's kind of trippy. I'm excited and hopeful that I will be able to get a big plant and be able to save those leaves for my tea blends. My flowers are still getting a little bigger. I'm starting to try and think about where I want to plant these. One of my cucumber seeds popped up. I think that came out yesterday. So got a few more waiting. And then I have some tomatoes. This one's getting its first official leaves, and some peppers that I'm still waiting for those leaves to come in. Greenhouse is doing well. And then my greens here. I bought spinach seeds. I wanted to try it. I don't actually think that I'm going to continue to grow spinach. Just what I'm getting, it just doesn't amount to much. I'm gonna save these and I'm gonna puree them up for smoothies, just because, you know, one harvest is one dish. So I think I'm probably gonna focus on some other greens that give you a little bit more green for the space. right, here we have a bunch of blueberries. I'm gonna make jam. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is a technique I learned when making strawberry jam, and that you macerate the berries with sugar overnight before you make the jam. And I just felt like it made them cook down a lot easier. So I'm gonna try it. I've got about 10 cups of blueberries here. I'm gonna use 2 cups of sugar. Sit out on the counter for a while, and I'll mash them, and then they'll end up going in the refrigerator overnight. Alright, and here I have the sweet mint that I cut off the plant. I'm just gonna throw it in my salad spinner to dry it off after washing. Then I will put it on the rack and put it back up against the kitchen here to dry it. Pull out the lavender and wash this in lemon thyme. The lemon thyme is going to be used for 2 different things. I'm going to use it in the blueberry jam, and I'm also going to infuse some olive oil with it. That I will use that olive oil to make the lip balm. Myself a nice handful for the jam. I'm just going to wrap this up and put it in a zip top bag, and I will pull that out tomorrow and pull the leaves off when I'm making my jam. For the lip balm, I'm going to take it, put it in this jar, and then I'm going to cover it with half of a cup of olive oil. And I just bought a organic extra virgin olive oil from the grocery store for this. The recipe called for a different type of oil, but I wanted to try olive oil. You eat it and you use it in other salves. So I figured that it could be good in a lemon balm. It's in a lip balm. It's an experiment. This I will put back in my apothecary. This, I want to make sure that all of that lemon balm is underneath of the olive oil. And I'm going to use one of my little fermenting weights. There. I'm just going to infuse this overnight, so I'm just going to sit it on my kitchen counter right over here. With my lemon thyme tincture that I still have going. This has been going for a little over 3 weeks at this point. And I do have bad news about the fermented carrots. I tried them yesterday and they were way too salty. Absolutely not edible. So at this point, fermented vegetables 2, me 0, but I will keep trying. Hello, the time is here to finish the tincture that you saw me make a couple videos ago. So I have all of my tools here with me, measuring cup, fine mesh strainer, cheesecloth, the tincture, a spoon, and the jar that the tincture is going to go into. The first thing that I will do is pour everything right into this cheesecloth. You want to get all of the herbs from the bottom of the jar. And we're going to let that drain. I know you can't see the bottom here, but all of that's drained through. So I'm just gonna push down on the herbs because I wanna make sure that I get all the liquid possible. I will gather up the ends of the cheesecloth and I will squeeze. And you should see there's still quite a bit more liquid. That's why you want to make sure that you get all of the herbs from the bottom of the jar. And just squeeze. Wash my hands. I've got a clean dropper bottle. Now all I have to do is put a label. I will put the ingredients that are in the tincture as well as the date that I bottled it, and I will pass my remedy on to my friend. Good morning, everybody. It is the next day and we are ready to make some jam, and I actually added something to my list as well. We went to the farmer's market this morning and the radishes looked really great, and they're large. They're very big radishes, and we never eat a whole bunch, so I thought I'd also make just at least 1 jar of radish pickles to put in the pantry, a little treat for winter time when we don't have a ton of fresh veggies around. My blueberries sat in the sugar all night and macerated in the refrigerator. Those are ready to go into the pot. I've got about 2 tablespoons of lemon thyme chopped up here, some radishes ready to pickle, and then I have about 1/4 cup of lemon juice and lemon zest that will go in with the blueberries. In the large pot, this is my water bath canning pot. I have my jars that have been boiling in here to sterilize my jars and to have my water hot and ready. And then in the back here, I have just a 50-50 tater tots freaking out at the front window. In the back here, this is my brine for my radish pickles. It's just a very basic brine, 50% water, 50% vinegar, and about 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. I like my pickles just a little bit sweet too. My jars are officially sterilized and ready. I am going to pull these out and I'm going to get started with my jam, which you really just cook down until it reaches 220 degrees. Once it reaches 220 degrees, at that point, you're ready to put it in your jars. So I am probably just gonna put us on a time lapse while I make the jam and get canning. So I have my 5 jars of blueberry jam in the canner, and I'm going to now work on cleaning up the mess that I have created in my kitchen. I will say, at home preservation, you make quite a mess, but it's okay. It's worth it. All right. So I've cleaned up my jam mess, and now I'm gonna try and make some lip balm. I have the olive oil that I put the lemon thyme, and I threw a couple chamomile blossoms in there last night. So I'm gonna drain that out first. I'll wait. all of that good oil that's been infused. We're just draining that lemon thyme infused olive oil, trying to get all the oil. All right. I've made another mess. All right, so I've got my olive oil, just a little under, I got just a little under half cup. I have my beeswax granules and a little honey. Heat up my water here and let this water come to temperature so that way it will warm the oil. Okay, so my water is warm. I'm gonna just pop in there and grab a metal spoon. The original recipe called for a cup of oil and a quarter cup of beeswax. Since I'm doing half a cup, well I have a little less than half a cup, I was going to do 1/8 of a cup of beeswax, which is 2 tablespoons. Since I don't have a full half cup, I'm gonna start with just a tablespoon. Beeswax, a little more than a tablespoon. And you do want to make sure that your beeswax granules are fully dissolved before you take it off the heat. I did not do that the last time I made salve. It was my first time, I was learning, and so I did just, there is a little carryover heat, but not enough, so you want to make sure that everything's fully dissolved. Turn this heat down a little bit. Here's what I mean. I sort of stopped right here last time, and you can still kind of see the beeswax isn't totally melted. You have to keep going until it's all the way melted. Alright, and so I am happy with that. I can't see any little beeswax chunks. I'm going to add just about a half teaspoon of honey. Stir that up. And I got these little, I think it's a 1/2 ounce metal container to put them in. I'm gonna do one. Ooh, it's hot. And I'm gonna pop it in the refrigerator because I want to see how it hardens. I let the lip balm cool in the refrigerator for about 15 minutes and it set up to a consistency I really liked, so I poured the rest of them. The tins came with these cute little labels. It turned out really well. I'm very happy with it. I have some friends that are going to be testing it out for me, letting me know what they think. I know that next time I'll let the herbs marinate a little bit longer in the oil. It wasn't quite as herby as I was hoping for, but I think it's still going to be a great product. All of my jars sealed, so I cleaned up my jars and I labeled them. And I also saved the radish greens and I pureed those for our smoothies. All in all, I'm really happy with the food prep we got done this weekend. I got 5 jam jars, I got a bonus pickle, I have some lip balm, and some more greens. So I will leave you there for this week. I can't wait to see you again.